be picking up and these team comps.
All right, so let's just get right into it. I mean,
Let's
Reborn,
do it.
they've been here so many times before, and Havoc may be a newer team to the scene, but they have been in a couple of our events in the past. So it's going to be interesting how they handle the new patch and try to play against Reborn. But going through these first couple of bans, we've got a Grux ban for Reborn and Havoc taking out the Bellica.
I mean, you take out an incredibly strong jungler from. I feel like so. Does Leo do this to get rid of? Oh, it's actually Leo's not even playing. I was gonna say Leo pick up Severog first, but that doesn't look like the case. But you take
Did
out
he
Bellica,
kick
who in
himself?
my he kicked himself every 2 weeks. He kicked himself right off the team. He realized he was the weakest link, and he had to move on. But you take out Bellica, in my opinion, who is the strongest caster right now, and probably the most versatile. She can be played basically in any lane and really do well. So get rid of her. And of course, Grux is a fantastic jungler right now. In the right hands, Grux is scary, but that leaves you with very few options. Do you pick up Severog? Do you go with Rampage? Or do you pick up Chimera? So it's going to be interesting to see who Reborn picks up for junglers and what these guys do.
Oh boy, a Chimera pick. That would definitely ruffle a couple feathers here. But to start out this
More
draft,
solo queue.
yeah, right. To start this
No!
draft, we've got Reborn going with the Decker, and then Havoc they'll follow that up by picking up the coveted jungler Sevrog as well as a Howitzer.
We haven't seen a lot of Howitzer. I'm putting that basically because Bellica was banned. We've seen more Gadget than we've seen Howitzer. And do you think we're going to see more Agesh for one of these guys with how strong she is?
Oh gosh,
Because
I
that's
think we should
left her
actually.
open.
Yeah, it has left Morigesh open. She is excellent at harassing people away from the lane, just so good in the early game, which works really well with this patch. I would imagine that we're going to see a lot of teams picking her up in this PCL and see just how strong she is on the competitive scene.
I know how strong she is when I play her in an uncoordinated play. I'm very interested to see whether she's picked up and if she's just as strong or if these top players have found a way to deal with that strength.
Yeah, I mean, I would personally love to see people actually know how to deal with a Morigesh and
Yeah.
show people that maybe it is slightly balanced as long as you know how to deal with it. Reborn,
Right.
they're going with the Twin Blast and Greystone to keep on going. So we see that sort of draft meta coming around where there's only so many heroes in the game and so many heroes per role, so that when one team actually picks up a certain role or seems to have done so, it leaves that role open for the other team to just kind of let go until the end of the draft. So you see Havoc picking up their jungler and mid player here, whereas Reborn, they already have their support, their ranger, and what probably should be their offlaner for Reflect. So you see, like, these rules are not really doubled up at all. So it just pretty much leaves the rest of the draft to countering, which for Havoc here, they do manage to pick up a Kwang and the Yin.
Which is a scary. Yin is a scary hero in the safe lane. Excuse me. In the right hands, Yin is absolutely devastating to play against. I feel like I want to say, they're going to be able to counter this hero. They still have a jungler pick available. They still have a caster available. But Yin is very scary. Kwang, does that mean we're going to see Kwang in the off lane? Which we haven't seen Kwang in the off lane in a very long time, actually. So, or do you think Sebrog's going to be in the off lane? Because they've got two strong off laners there. It's going to be interesting to see which hero they take where. And their last pick of support is, I mean, if I have to guess, everybody thinks I'm cheating. I'm going to go with Narbash
I don't
over
think you have to
Steel.
cheat for that one. I mean, Narbash, a very simple pick here. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you want to see yourself appearing in a match, so Narbash seems to be the right play here for Havoc. And plus, like I was talking about with how the roles are being picked in this match, Reborn, they already have a Decker, so you're probably not going to see a Decker in any role other than a support. Narbash,
Right.
same thing. He's left until the end of the draft. Very strong in this current meta, and
Very strong.
yeah, it makes a lot of sense for teams to pick him up. But before we get to that, Reborn, they've picked up a Chimera and Sol Nazgul's Gadget, which he expresses a lot of discomfort over playing on his stream quite a bit, but he is still fairly good at the Gadget.
He is. I mean, Solanezgo can play any caster, and I think play those casters well. I'm interested in the Chimera pick over a Rampage. I mean, possibly Richter jungle. We've seen it before, and it's worked out really well. Why Chimera over some of the other? In my opinion, I think Rampage is a better choice. But why Chimera over Rampage? Purely because of Yin?
It does make a lot of sense, actually, because if you look at the way the game is focused right now, it's very objective-centered, and Chimera is actually kind of good at getting those up. So when you're trying to fight right next to an objective like the Orb Prime or the Raptors, if you can get established on a little bit, which Reborn might be looking to do here with some zoning from Decker and possibly Reflect, I would imagine that the Chimera is going to be getting a huge amount of stacks up, and it's going to be really difficult then to contest him right next to some of those big objectives. So I think it makes a lot of sense with the playstyle of the teams right now, and it might also be a little bit of the preference of the jungler for Reborn as well. So Phil handling those duties today. We'll see if he is truly the Chimera player.
That Leo is? Whoa, what? And so that's going to lead last pick for Havoc over here, and of course it is going to be a Narbash, who is just right behind Decker when it comes to strength. Two really good drafts. Looking at these comps, I feel like Reborn has a great early game with Chimera in the jungle, plus that Decker support. I would like to say, reflect on Greystone. I feel like Greystone comes online looking for that tankiness and engage a little bit later than Sevarog does, but they do have a very strong early game. I'm assuming they're going to be prioritizing Raptors, because why would you not? And of course, Orb Prime at 15 minutes. But Havoc definitely does not have a draft to laugh at. I mean, if they play this draft well, they've got plenty of ways to lock a target down with tethers and roots, and of course Thunk coming out of Narbash. It's going to be interesting to see how these games play out. I know I'm excited for this one. I know everybody else is excited for this one. I'm in the game and ready to go. Pith, any final words before we start this match?
I think my only words for this one are going to have to be, let's get it on. So let's count it down in 3, 2, 1, go. And here we are right into our first game of the day between Reborn and Havoc. And, well, we're going to be making our way through here as I try to set up my keybinds correctly, since I forgot to do that. So, talk me through this early game a little bit more.
So, I mean, what we see every early game when it comes to PCL is these throwaway wards, guys. Everybody's going to run out. They're going to place their wards to make sure they're not going to be ganked. So give themselves the little bit of protection they need for the first few minutes of the match. Everybody goes out, places them. We just kind of have a posturing game right now, waiting, clearing up enemy wards. They're going to back. They're going to sell these first wards, and then they're going to pick up their items, whether that's health pot, mana pot, health token, depending on the lane you're playing, or if we see strike tokens as well to give themselves that early damage. We do have currently NATO Sick playing on Reborn for their Ranger. And we've got Master Splinter as well for the support. I know a couple people have asked. This is a really strong lineup for Reborn. I actually have not seen much of Havoc. I know they've played in a couple of our events, but I haven't casted much of Havoc. Do you know anything about these players over on the side of Havoc?
I mean, same with you. I have seen them before, but about the players specifically, I can't say that I could say anything very specific about them. But, being able to return here for another qualification into the PCL NA, very strong for Havoc. And, these players might be able to do something against Reborn, because the thing is, this patch is extremely volatile. So if you can get your team where it is taking those objectives and being able to get those small but eventually large advantages over a team like Reborn, I think that, Havoc might be able to show us something pretty good here. But I think it's going to have to take a while until we get to that point. Reflect forced to jump away from the dual lane of Malix and Atravent over on the right side. So, he'll just jump around for now, taking a little bit of damage. But the thing is, he's got the healing token available for himself, as well as a health pot. So he doesn't really have to worry about this early game harass as much.
No, I mean, if he was another hero, sure, a thunk into the damage coming out of Yin may be a problem, but he can leap away, like you said, health pot and health token. He is at about 50% health. They are pushing this lane pretty hard, which I expect them to do. Push this lane hard, but we do have a rotation actually over here from Chill Phil. He was going for that kill. Unfortunately, they do miss the kill on Kwong. So Kwong in the off lane. A lot of people ask you where should Kwong be played? Do we like him in the off lane? Do people like him in the jungle? Where do teams like him? We see a lot of teams actually play him in the off lane. I think he fits really well in that position. That right mouse button giving him that armor for 4 seconds is very strong, allows him to harass very well in this lane. Of course, Nadosic trying to freeze this lane and keep Vegan under-farmed, which is exactly what he
hold that
needs
thought. Mid lane, we've got the landmine knocking Solo Nazgul back. The stun from Master Splinter won't be hitting there, and Merciless Killer is going right for Solo Nazgul, misses the Siphon, and Solo Nazgul actually gets away out of that fight there. Will there be any kind of reinitiation? Master Splinter trying to chase him a little bit. I mean, they were kind of centered around the mid lane, looking to keep control of the buffs. Lucky that Naz did not end up falling there. I think the abilities are just a little bit too difficult for Havoc to hit right now, and you know, it was a good range of control. The stuns were not very stacked too much at all, so they used them as effectively as I think they could have, but it wasn't going to be enough to take down Nazgul. They're just too much regen. Now we've actually got a wraparound by Chillphil on the Virgin. Nadosic could put some damage there, slowed down with the jump. Chillphil looking to go for this one, but he does get hit by the tether. Now Virgin being chased down, and Master Splinter on the low ground gets the stun out. This could be the first blood. Indeed it is. Nadosic picks it up with the grenade. And that's quite easy for Reborn to get it started here in our first game of the day.
So that mid lane fight, Solo Nazgul actually, his search and destroy slowed down 3 of those 4 people with the chase. Chillphil was able to rotate in and slow up Merciless Killer, the Sevarog, and actually helped Solo Nazgul escape. So overall, good rotations coming out, and of course, that continued aggression, picking up the kill onto Kwong and giving them that first blood. Are we going to see them push this tower pretty quickly and rotate off to the Raptor side of the camp? Or do you think they're going to take their time and farm over here? Master Splinter's going to land a stun on a Merciless Killer in the jungle. They are going to be able to land that tether. He's very low. He should fall here, and he is going to fall. Nadosic has to be careful. They don't have any roots for Nadosic, so he should not be in too much danger right this second. But he doesn't have a support for the next 10 seconds. And he needs to play this lane.
Oh, check out the mid lane. Landmine's going to knock Chillphil underneath the tower, but he managed to pick up the blue buff over the Howitzer, which is quite a feat. Search and Destroy, trying to pick up Psycho Pumpkin, but he just missed with the Sticky Mine. Actually ended up sticking to Merciless Killer there instead of the Howitzer, which I don't think it was a kill, but still something that could have forced the Howitzer to get very far back, even though he does go back anyway. But he could have been in a little bit more danger there. It's kind of lucky with the timings. What's up, man?
Yes, with these new patches, we've seen 2 patches that have made Raptors and Orb Prime very strong objectives. More so than we've seen them in the past. Raptors spawn at 10 minutes. What are we waiting for these teams to do? Do you think at 10 minutes we're going to see a full rotation, or at least 4 rotate to these Raptors? Do you think it'll be a little bit longer than that, or are we waiting for a pick and possibly a tower to be pushed? Because I feel like those objectives are going to be very heavily weighed on the outcome of this game. So at 10 minutes directly for Raptors, or do you think we're going to see lane pushes and then Raptors?
So that's actually exactly the question I wanted you to ask. That was not scripted at all. But I kind of want to paint a picture here with the timing. So the towers get less armor at 7 minutes.
Right.
Or thereabouts. And so I think that's probably an excellent time to be taking down the safe lane tower. And right now, we've got a Nadosic pushing in that lane right next to the Raptors. So they spawn at 10 minutes. So I think they have a nice little buffer there. Maybe take the tower around 7 minutes and then take the Raptors right then. Because I can tell you that this Havoc team with the Kwong on their side, it's not really one that you want to have any kind of play on the Raptors. And I think
Reflect has got to be killed for here.
Oh, well, he does have his ultimate available. So he's actually taking Attribute quite low here, and he's not going to fall to the end. Oh my gosh, my camera just went completely crazy. Not sure what's up with that, but yeah, he gets away. He's just way too tanky for them. In any case, he still manages to keep his ultimate, which is actually going to be really essential for Reborn when it comes to taking the Raptors.
Yeah, allow him to apply pressure on this side of the map with that ultimate, and allow his Nadosic to pick up those 2,400 card power He does not want to lose his ultimate. They're continuing to be aggressive here. If they can land a ultimate is going to...
Oh, but he could get Atrovent. He's so low, actually. He's going to be hit by the Reforge, and yeah, he gets taken right out by that. Reflect, I think he's perfectly happy to get a kill with that one. And now there's also rotation by Chillfield out into Malix. There's the culling as well. Malix moving around here. Chillfield doesn't want to play underneath the tower too much. Oh, the stun's just going to hit the tower from Master Splinter. So Malix manages to get away for now. And with this, Reborn can secure a little bit of the control over the jungle, taking some Amber out of that Amber Link as well as Nazgul. So I would say a pretty good engagement overall for Reborn. They might not have gotten the Yin kill, but now actually there is a rotation by Howitzer over to the left side. But Nadosig manages to get away fast enough that Cyclone Pumpkin isn't going to be able to find that kill.
Yeah, he is. They've got good ward placement there. Unfortunately, the ward wasn't. They're not deep. They've got a shadow ward for the side of Reborn. And Havoc currently only has a standard ward. So that rotation was seen by Nadosig. He was able to back off. I love the play out of Master Splinter. They just trust their carry so much that they don't have to sit there and babysit. So Master Splinter is able to rotate off. He's able to help his team in other ways. Yes, this puts him a little bit behind when it comes to level. Of course, you want your support to hit that level 5 for that ultimate. But it just allows their team to feel more confident in ganks, knowing, hey, we've got a stun here from Master Splinter, who's playing Decker. Nadosig is going to back off. We're 9 minutes into the game. He's going to go spend that card power, pick up a Madstone gem, max out his Sage's ward, and if I had to guess, they're going to get ready for this Raptor pit in the next minute.
Yeah, and not only are they rotating Nadosig off the lane for a little bit, but it's all about Master Splinter managing to find a little bit of farm on the support. So sure, he's at level 3, but he just got about a minute. It's like a wave or two. Alone with the minion wave to get a couple of levels up, and now he's continuing to put some pressure out onto Vegan over here, doing a little bit of damage to him, just some harass as a Decker. But right now, Havoc, they seem to be already trying to stack up for Raptor play. Meanwhile, Yin versus Reflect, he's going to back away for her, but Master Splinter is going to fall in the middle of the river. Chillfield in the middle of all of this one. He's just a Howitzer trying to keep those stacks up. Gets the Cole onto Vegan, but he's right next to a Howitzer. He's going to get blasted in the face with an R2000. He is going to actually take down Vegan in the middle of this, and the Maker Rain has been completely kited by Reborn. He'll take down 3 around the Raptor pack. Psycho Pumpkin trying to make his way away from Nadosig, but there's going to be a sticky mine on him, and Twin Blast gets another one out of that one. That should open up the Raptors for Reborn, and it looks like Havoc just completely gave that one over to him.
I mean, the rotation, that Tesla Dome from Solo Nazgul landed on everybody, brought everybody below 50%. Solo Nazgul was able to pick up... Solo Nazgul was able to help secure 4 kills. Nadosig picked up 2 of them. Chillfield picked up 1. And, of course, the big thing is not only take 4...
You can't do that. Malix, you can't just walk in like that.
It's going to fall as well.
I mean, sure, these
not
heroes
only are they
all...
going to pick up 5, they're picking up the Raptors as well. Oh, they have to back off. They're too low. So they picked up 5 kills, 1 Raptor. Nadosig took 4 of those kills. He's now sitting at 19 card power, while you have Malix on Yin only sitting at 12 card power. Huge advantage for their carry here. Back up, get healthy, and go straight for the Raptors as well. I mean, so the Raptors, the way they've changed them is they spawn at 10 minutes. They spawn every 4 minutes after all 3 are killed. So they've only picked up 1. So these Raptors won't respawn until they pick up these other 2 here. And it'll sit this way until they pick them up. But after watching that team fight here, collapse...
They found Psycho Pumpkin again, slowed down by the Search and Destroy. Very low on health. Can Chillfield actually jump for this one? He's going to do it. Has a green buff anyway. He doesn't have a care in the world. Picking up the Howitzer in mid. Meanwhile, Nadosig versus Vegan over in the jungle. Throws out the sword, and he'll try to ult it, but can't quite do it. And that should open up the rest of the Raptors for Reborn. They'll just send in the Chimera and Twin Blast to finish these up, giving him even more of an advantage as a Ranger. And look at this. He is up to 21 card points. The next closest on the Havoc side is 8 points away. This is a great start for Reborn.
He's 22 card points, 12 minutes into the game. That is insane. Those 5 kills, because he just picked up a kill onto Kwong, plus 3 Raptors. Raptors will spawn again at right around 16 minutes. We'll see Raptors spawn again, and then possibly an Orb Prime play and or Raptors at that point. They are picking up, of course, towers. Reflect picked up a tier 1 tower. Mid lane tower is also going to fall, and we're just waiting on basically Nadosig and Master Splinter to just decide to take this tower, because with 22 card power, it's whatever he wants to go in there. There's not going to really... Kwang's not really going to be able to defend that, only sitting at 13 card power.
Oh, interesting stun there from Master Splinter, just kind of throwing it into the ground. Maybe a bit of a show of dominance over Viggen, who basically can't get close to the minion wave at all. I mean, he keeps stepping up a little bit, but any little bit of damage from Twin Blast is chunking him down pretty hard, even as a pretty tanky hero in the Kwang.
Mid lane has got 3 in the mid lane. I think they're nervous at this point. Their jungler hasn't rotated off. He's rotating off now, but I feel like when you just lose a team fight that decisively, you got to wonder, okay, where are these guys at? We know we're at a disadvantage. How are we going to play this?
I think they might have just figured out where the other team are all at, and they were indeed taking down. Yeah, they were taking down Kwang in the left lane. He's like, guys, I found them and I'm dead now. So they were all sitting in the mid lane, almost like wondering when that gank was going to come through, but really it was onto the Kwang, who had no help at all on the left lane. That ends up with the tower as well as the kill going to Reborn. It's playing
so
this.
All 3, they're playing this. Reborn's playing this just the way they need to. All 3 tier 1 towers are down. They've opened up complete map control. This makes it, they decide, okay, you know what, we're just going to push these lanes out, go for Raptor, push these lanes out, go for Orb Prime. Orb Prime will be spawning in 2 minutes. They already have a substantial card power lead. We have, again, 27 card power for NATO Sig. He is 11 points ahead of Malix. He's picked up his 3 Madstone gems. He has an impact hammer, so he's starting to build a little bit of crit. We've got a quenching scales for Master Splinter. That's a huge heal this early on. It's really, what does Reborn want to do? And how does Havoc answer back? Because right now, they haven't found an answer to any plays Reborn is making. What is the next step for Havoc?
They have done a little bit of it. They're trying to regain the vision over the map. Meanwhile, though, Malix in some trouble. Will be able to use the leap over to Atrophin to get away from Chillphil. Chillphil will get the jump out on the Merciless Killer. Has the pull available. Subjugate does keep him in place for a little bit, but Malix taking way too much damage from Reflect. He's going to take her down. Meanwhile, Chillphil trying to do as much as possible. Here comes the Maker Rain with the dome on top of it. Huge damage from Reborn, and they're getting chunked down quite low. Atrophin about to fall does. And Reflect is unstoppable right now. Chillphil hasn't even died. They can't take him down. Subjugate not going to hit. And that's going to end up being 4-0. They can't even take down Chillphil. We're 15 minutes in. OP is up. Don't see Reborn going for it right now. They are just a little bit low on Chimera, but they're putting themselves in a great position to continue to take the objectives in this game. And NATO? No, those Raptors haven't respawned yet.
No, they respawn in about 20 seconds. NATO just decided to stay in lane and poke at Kwang a little bit, and also farm it up. I want to say, I feel like, as we look at this point, we still have them down. Solo Nazgul has started Orb Prime, and the entire team is rotating here. Solo Nazgul is going to have to back off. Chillphil's here. This is basically a free Orb Prime. I don't see Havoc contesting this. If they pick this up, with that power spike of Orb Prime, the additional 20% damage bonus, plus the 30 power, plus Death Touch, plus
the regen,
health regen on it, I really don't see any way Havoc defends this.
And look how far they were zoning as well. They had Decker and Reflect just standing right in the middle of the Havoc jungle. They didn't care if they got Initiate on because they had their way to get out. Stun out in the Psycho Pumpkin. Huge damage. He's dead. There's not even a chance of him getting out of there. Malix has a health bug, but still, I don't even know if being completely invulnerable to damage right now is going to be helping out Havoc at all, because Reborn are unstoppable going for this inhib. Creep wave, or the minion wave, shows up. Subjugate to the back lines. Nadosic is going to get caught out. There's the Thunk as well, but Atrophin chunked down immediately, and Reborn taking advantage of the Prime. We're 60.5 minutes in, but it seems like this game is already ending. The Colossal Blow misses from Merciless Killer, and now Master Splinter is going to chase him. Huge damage from the Stasis Bomb, and they pick him off as well. 3 dead on the side of Havoc. I would imagine that they just go for the core right now. I don't think there's any reason for Reborn to slow down at all. They'll be able to take it down with the Prime, and that's just how fast the cookie crumbles, ladies and gentlemen. Reborn pick up an OP, and then that's the game.
I'm like, how do you even contest that at this point? So I'm trying to find the words because we have a game start out. We see Reborn playing a little bit passively. All of a sudden, they turn it online. At 9 minutes, they pick up 5 kills at the Raptors. They pick up a Raptor, instantly rotate down, pick up 2 more Raptors, pick up a kill under the tower, pick up a kill on Kwong in the offlane, take all 3 tier 1 towers, and then aggressively invade the jungle at 14 minutes and 30 seconds, saying, we see them all grouped up in the middle, let's just go in. Reflect goes in solo, everybody takes that bait, falls on Reflect, and the rest of Reborn shows up, wipes them, picks up the Orb Prime, and takes the game in 17 minutes and 32 seconds.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I told you that today was going to be a roller coaster, but I didn't even think that we'd be seeing the 16-minute game. People were complaining so much about the timing of the game in Legacy. It takes too long. I have an hour and 30-minute games. It doesn't feel like we're doing anything. And now we get 16 minutes? Are they trying to speedrun this or something? Because I can't... man.
I'm not sure. Epic had that 31-minute mark in mind, and they just decided, you know what? I think we could do better than 31 minutes. If we have to pick, let's make them 17, and that's exactly what they've done here. We just saw, again, this is a very well-coordinated team. This is a very, Absolutely. Reborn is the most, they've won the most PCLs out of anybody. They've been dominant in the competitive scene for such a long time. They know how to play together. They play very well together, and they just displayed that. Yes, they didn't have Leo Grande today. Hashtag every 2 weeks. They have Chillfill in the jungle instead, and they still do a really, really solid job and just make easy work of Havoc. Havoc will be moving into the losers bracket. They do still have a chance to continue on to day number 2 tomorrow. But what a interesting first game. Reborn putting on a clinic. Guys, we're going to be jumping into the casting of Arctic Wolves versus Think Twice here in just a second. If you guys want to support these teams, ! Matcherino. We're working on getting that coupon code, guys. I'm waiting for Matcherino to come back to us. We already have $54 in donations. Thank you guys so much for that support. We appreciate it, and the teams appreciate it. Pith,
hey,
any final words before we cut to break, buddy?
I don't know. I'm just so ready to get on with the next game, but we are going to that break, unfortunately. So we're going to have to cut it. You know, we're going to have to cut the momentum for a little bit here, but we are going to see exactly what these teams can do throughout the rest of the day, because I'm actually interested to see what happens when we see those 2 fast-paced strategies kind of collide, because
yeah,
that's going to be, I don't know, if you know what a Hadron Collider is, we're going to see a lot of stuff happening in there. It's basically we got 2
all the molecules,
yeah, molecules moving super fast. It's gonna be fun.
I like the reference. I like the reference.
You know what? It's Earth Day, so I was walking around the city today, and there's like all the Earth Day, the science people out talking about atoms and molecules and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe I was kind of influenced a little bit by then. Yeah.
Just out of nowhere. Guys, we're gonna take a quick 3-minute break. We're gonna jump into Arctic Wolves versus Think Twice, which if I'm not mistaken, chat thinks Think Twice is going to take this event. I've seen a lot of people talking about how if you think anyone else is going to win, think twice. Ha punny chat, punny. We'll see you guys in just a minute.
It's terrible.